Ever walked into a place and just felt like you don't exist? Not in a deep, philosophical way where you're some speck of dust floating through the void, but like, literally you're there, standing, breathing, fully grown, and yet no one notices you? Yeah, that was me today. His name was Jerome Wilson. 47 years old, successful as hell, and completely invisible in that moment. Funny thing? This wasn't just any hotel. This was one of the crown jewels in a hospitality empire he built from scratch. A 5-star, we make you feel like royalty type of place where a single night stay costs more than some people pay for rent. And yet, here he was, standing at the front desk, waiting to be noticed like some stray that had wandered in off the street. This wasn't a random visit either. Jerome had been getting complaints. No, not just a couple, but a steady stream of them, all pointing back to this hotel. Guests being treated like second-class citizens, staff with a major attitude problem, rooms mysteriously unavailable for certain customers. He could have handled it the usual way, call up the manager, schedule an internal audit, throw in some corporate jargon and hope it fixed itself. But Jerome knew better. Problems like this? They don't fix themselves. They need to be exposed. So, he showed up unannounced. No suit, no limo, no entourage, just another guy checking in for the night. And that's when he got a first-hand look at his company's so-called world-class service. The front desk? Manned, or more accurately, manned by a 20-something blonde named Kim, whose body language screamed, "I don't get paid enough to care about your existence." She was leaned back, phone in hand, either texting or scrolling, probably doing whatever it was people did when they avoided eye contact on purpose. Jerome waited. He cleared his throat. Nothing. He tapped the desk. Still nothing. "Excuse me." Kim let out a loud sigh. One of those dramatic, "I can't believe you're bothering me" sighs, the kind reserved for people who dare speak while you're doing nothing. She finally lifted her gaze to meet his, blinking as though he'd just appeared out of thin air. No greeting. No "how can I help you?" Just, "yeah," like he was some inconvenience. Jerome kept his voice calm. "I have a reservation." Jerome Wilson. Kim barely concealed a smirk as she turned to her computer, typing with all the enthusiasm of a sloth on sedatives. "MHM. Yeah, nope. Don't see it." Jerome raised an eyebrow. "You sure about that?" "Pretty sure," she replied, not even looking up. She went back to her phone like their conversation was over. That's when Jerome knew. This wasn't some system glitch. It wasn't an error. It was deliberate. She had taken one look at him and decided, "Nah, not worth my time." Jerome sighed, keeping his expression neutral. "All right, check again." Kim rolled her eyes, but begrudgingly typed again. "Nope. Still nothing." "Sorry?" She didn't sound sorry. She sounded bored. Jerome calmly pulled out his phone, scrolled to his reservation confirmation, and held it up. Kim barely glanced at it. "Yeah, well, the system doesn't lie. Neither does my damn email." She sighed again, exaggerated. "Look, sir, maybe you made a mistake. Happens all the time. Maybe you booked the wrong location." Jerome tilted his head, the corner of his mouth twitching. "So, you're saying I'm lost?" Kim gave him that smug, condescending smirk, the one you throw at someone when you think you're talking to an idiot. "I'm saying it's an easy mistake to make." Jerome clenched his jaw, inhaling deeply. "And what if I wasn't lost? What if my reservation was here all along?" She shrugged. "Then I guess the system glitched." Jerome knew this system didn't glitch. People did. And something about the way she wouldn't look him in the eye, how she refused to double-check, how she dismissed him so easily. He had seen this before. This wasn't about a glitch. It was about him. She decided, within seconds, that he didn't belong, that he wasn't worth proper service. Jerome had been through this kind of thing before, the unspoken rules of customer service, where certain people's mistakes get corrected and others are just ignored. Usually he'd let it slide. Pick your battles, right? But today was different. He pulled out his second phone, the one with full access to the internal system, tapped in his credentials, and sure enough, there it was, his reservation, booked and confirmed. Then, just out of curiosity, he checked the activity log. Reservation manually deleted. Deleted by Kim. Front desk clerk.
Bingo.
Jerome glanced up at her name tag, suppressing a grin. Kim. Oh, this was going to be fun. He took a deep breath, forcing a smile. Tell me something, Kim. She hummed, still glued to her phone. What happens when you delete a reservation? Kim barely looked up. Oh, it just removes it from the system. No big deal. Jerome nodded. And who has the ability to do that? Kim shrugged. Only front desk staff, obviously. Like yourself. Her face twitched.
Yeah.
Why? Jerome tapped his screen once more, pulled up the log, and turned his phone around. Her eyes flickered to the screen, and for the first time all night, she looked nervous. There it was. Her name, right next to the deletion. Kim swallowed hard. Her face drained of color. Jerome leaned in, lowering his voice. So tell me, Kim, why the hell did you delete my reservation? Her mouth opened and closed, no words coming out. For the first time all night, she was completely speechless. Jerome smirked. Oh, this is going to be one hell of a night. He had seen a lot of things in his life, but this was a whole new level. He watched Kim squirm, pretending not to notice the mess she'd made. But honestly, he almost felt bad for her. Almost. She kept blinking at the screen, fingers twitching like she wanted to undo her digital crime. But there was no back button for this one. I didn't, she started. Jerome cut her off. Don't even try it, Kim. The way she flinched? Beautiful. Save it. She clamped her mouth shut so quickly. He almost laughed. He stepped back, inhaled deeply, and calmed himself. Because honestly, he wanted to flip out. Wanted to let everyone in the fancy lobby know what had just gone down.
But no.
Not yet. This needed finesse. Instead, he leaned on the counter, smiling. Here's what's going to happen, Kim. She gulped. You're going to find me a room. Right now. Kim hesitated, but when he didn't move, she scrambled to type. The frantic tapping of her fingers echoed in the quiet lobby. Okay, she muttered. Speak up. I found a room. Of course you did. She grabbed a key card and shoved it across the counter, not making eye contact. Here you go, sir. He didn't touch it. Which room? 1427.
He sighed.
The worst room in the building, huh? Kim froze. See, she thought she was being slick. Room 1427 was next to the elevators, by the maintenance closet, with a glorious view of the dumpster out back. Jerome knew every room in the hotel. Hell, he designed the floor plan. And this was textbook pettiness. Kim, he said, tilting his head. Do I look stupid to you? Her face twisted. No. Then why the hell are you trying to play me like I don't know exactly what you just did? Silence. The lobby had gone dead quiet. A couple of guests on the nearby couches were pretending not to listen. A bellboy in the corner suddenly found adjusting his hat to be fascinating. Jerome slowly picked up the key card. Thanks, Kim. Wow, that's an intense and satisfying narrative. The tension between Jerome and the staff creates such a compelling power dynamic. It's not just about righting the wrongs at that hotel, it's about making a statement. Jerome's methodical approach to cleaning house shows how he wants to rebuild the empire on his terms, holding everyone accountable, especially those who think they can get away with mistreatment. The way he maintains control throughout, particularly with how he handled Stephen and Kim, is truly the hallmark of a leader who won't tolerate anything less than excellence.